Hey guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel where today I will be doing the end of year book tag. Okay, so obviously I am very late to the party on this tag because there's only 2 weeks left in December, which is just crazy. There's only 2 weeks of this year left. That just blows my mind. But better late than never. So let's just get into it. I have all the questions right here on my laptop ready to go. Okay, first question. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? No, there's none that I started and then just set down for a long period of time because I don't really like to do that. Once I start a book, if it holds my attention, even if it doesn't hold my attention, I'm going to finish it, within a few days. I don't like to leave them sitting for months and months and months. I have to know what happens. I need a conclusion to the story. I may take a few more days than normal if I really just want to set with the story and let it sink in and, marinate in all the characters and the world and everything. But there has not been one this year that I have picked up and set down for an extended period of time. I will say, however, though, I have tried to pick up The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers multiple times, and I just have not started it yet. No reason other being than just I'm busy, in December trying to get Christmas decorations up, wrap presents, still buying presents. Just a lot of things are getting in the way. I also, will just instead pick up my phone and scroll through TikTok for hours instead. But this one has just been sitting on my nightstand, and I'll look at it and be like, I should start reading, and then I just don't. But that's not because I don't want to read this book, because I do. Francine Rivers is one of my favorite authors. You may know her because she wrote Redeeming Love, which I read at the end of last year, and is one of my favorite books of all time. I think I need to make it a tradition that at the end of every single year I read a Francine Rivers book. But this one is more contemporary fiction. It's Christian fiction, Christian romance. I'll read you a little bit of the blurb. So it says, the ghosts of his past hold him captive. Her missteps bring her to his door. A successful Los Angeles artist, Roman Velasco appears to have everything he could possibly want: money, women, fame. Only Grace Moore, his reluctant, newly hired personal assistant, knows how little he truly has. The demons of Roman's past seem to echo through the halls of his empty mansion and out across his breathtaking Topanga Canyon view. But Grace doesn't know how her boss secretly wrestles with those demons. By tagging buildings as the Bird, a notorious but unidentified graffiti artist, an alter ego that could destroy his career and land him in prison. Like Roman, Grace is wrestling with ghosts and secrets of her own. So I just think this sounds so interesting. It doesn't sound like a typical, Christian fiction novel that you might see on the shelves in a Christian bookstore. And Francine Rivers is really great about that. She doesn't stick to a formula. Her writing is really adventurous, takes place in many different time periods. She's written, in like the California Gold Rush period. This is more modern day in Los Angeles. She's written, biblical, allegorical stories. So she really can do it all, and I just think she's a phenomenal writer. So I'm very excited for this one, and I will be picking it up soon before this year is over. Okay, next question. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Okay, obviously, like I said, we're a little bit late to the party on this. So I'll talk about books that I think would, be good, maybe for next year or in the future, or even still now that we're approaching winter. I don't think winter is quite here yet. But books that can help you transition into the winter. So the first one that comes to mind, well, I got two. This is my TBR stack over here. Don't mind it. I have it down here so I can just come and pull a book from it and I don't have to search my shelves for all of my TBR. And it just keeps growing, by the day. So the first one that came to mind was Winterland by Ray Meadows. I was actually sent this one by the publisher, so thank you so much to Henry Holt. I saw this one in a Goodreads giveaway months ago, and I read the description, and I was just like, I have to have that. I have to read that. So I was very excited when Henry Holt sent out an email with an ARC request form. You better believe I got this one. So this one is, I think it takes place in the 70s in Russia, and it follows a young girl who does gymnastics, and she's mentored by a like rough and tough, decorated Russian Olympic gymnast. So it's very, sounds atmospheric, you know, cold, perfect for winter. I mean, it's got winter in the title. I just definitely think this would be a perfect read to transition you into winter, a perfect winter read. I'll give you a little bit of the blurb on this one as well. Perfection has a cost. Set in an era that remains shockingly relevant today, Winterland tells a story of glory, loss, hope, and determination, and of finding light where none exists. So it takes place in the Soviet Union, 1973. There is perhaps no greater honor for a young girl than to be chosen for the famed USSR gymnastics program. When 8-year-old Anya is selected, her family is thrilled. What is left of her family, that is. Years ago, her mother disappeared without a trace, leaving Anya's father devastated and their lives dark and quiet in the bitter cold of Siberia. So it just sounds fascinating to me. I haven't really read any books set in this time period in the Soviet Union. And I did gymnastics as a child. I've loved watching gymnastics at the Olympics for years. So this just really sounds right up my alley and perfect for winter. Okay, question number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? No, because we're so far into the year and we're so close to 2023, but I can talk about some early releases of 2023 that I'm looking forward to. The first one is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in the Ninth House. I don't know if it's trilogy or duology, but I read Ninth House a few years ago in January, and I really enjoyed it. I don't really remember that much about it, though. I remember enjoying it, and I remember little bits and pieces, but I definitely need to reread it before Hellbent comes out. I'm also looking forward to the second book after Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I really enjoyed that book as well. It's a small town romance. And I think it'll be great to start the year off with. I think that comes out in February, if I'm not mistaken. Another new release that I'm excited for in January is The End of Drum Time. This was also sent to me by Henry Holt. This is an ARC. It comes out early, maybe mid-January, but this one sounds fascinating. I have also not read anything set in this time period, in this location. It's in the 1850s in Scandinavia. So a Lutheran minister known as Mad Lassie tries in vain to convert the native Sami reindeer herders to his faith. But when one of the most respected herders has a dramatic awakening and dedicates his life to the church, his impetuous son, Ivar, is left to guard their diminishing herd alone. By chance, he meets Mad Lassie's daughter, Willa, and their blossoming infatuation grows into something that ultimately crosses borders, of cultures, of beliefs, and of political divides, as Willa follows the herders on their arduous annual migration north to the sea. This one sounds so atmospheric, and like I said, I've never read anything set in Scandinavia in this time period before. I'll also, learn a lot about this culture that I don't know about, which is just very exciting. Okay, question number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Oh man, this is probably going to be the toughest question because I have so many books on my TBR, so many books that came out this year. So definitely, like I said, The Masterpiece. I'm probably going to read this one next if I can, get to it. I usually fly through her books pretty quickly. I would like to read Winterland before the end of this year because it's relatively short. I think I'll be so engrossed in this one that I can fly through it. And then I also, a few weeks ago at Target, I picked up The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn, not really knowing much about it, but I have read one other book by Kate Quinn called The Huntress, and I really enjoyed it. It was such an engrossing, gripping story. Historical fiction, if you don't know already, historical fiction I think is my all-time favorite genre, especially like if there's romance in there too, and I think there is in this. But this one, I was trying to decide between this and one other book because Target was having their buy two get one free sale on books, and I had already decided on I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy and Circe by Madeline Miller. So I needed a third book, and I've just been really disappointed by thrillers lately, so I decided against the other book that I was considering, and I picked up this one once I read the little description inside because it sounds amazing and it's based on a true story. The New York Times bestselling author of The Rose Code returns with an unforgettable World War II tale of a quiet bookworm who becomes history's deadliest female sniper. I think that's really all you need. That's all I need to read you. That just sounds amazing. Like, I can't say any more about it. I definitely want to read this before the year's over. Okay, next question. Question number 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you or could be your favorite book of the year? I think that is highly possible. All of those books that I've mentioned previously, I think are very strong contenders to be a favorite. I also picked up The Dutch House by Ann Patchett one day while I was thrifting. I got it for $2. It is in the library binding, but that doesn't bug me too bad. I don't know how bad the glare is on it. But it was only $2. I've heard amazing things about Ann Patchett as a writer, and this book in particular. I have definitely wanted to start reading some of her work because I've just heard amazing things about her. This one, I don't really know that much about. I kind of want to go into it blindly, but I just, based on the cover and based on the little, details that I know about it, I have a feeling that this could potentially become a favorite. I think it's also kind of historical fiction because it says it's set at the end of the Second World War, and it's a family story, and it just seems kind of cozy, maybe a little bit mysterious, maybe some magical elements to it. I don't know. It just sounds, once again, right up my alley. Okay, and then the final question, question number 6. Have you already started making plans for 2023? I guess by that question they mean reading plans, and the answer to that is no. I am the biggest mood reader. I go totally based off of what I am feeling in that moment. That determines what book I pick up next. If I've read like a lot of nonfiction, in a row, I won't want to pick up nonfiction. If I've read a lot of historical fiction, I'll want to change it up. If I've read a lot of fantasy, then I'll want like a contemporary. So I'm just kind of all over the place, and I can never, nail down what book I'm going to read next. But definitely all the books that I've mentioned, if I don't get to them at the end of this year, which, let's be honest, I probably won't. I think Goodreads just released everybody's end of year stats, and I have read 37 books, so I would definitely like to round that up to an even 40 before this year's over, and that will be asking a lot, I think. So definitely, if I can get to 3 of those to round that out to 40, I will be happy. And so that's just my plans for the end of 2022. No plans for the start of 2023 as of yet. I will let y'all know on Bookstagram. You can follow me there. I'm very active on there, letting you know what I'm currently reading and giving you book reviews and everything. So definitely follow me there for more recent updates about what I'm reading at the beginning of 2023. But yeah, as of right now, no plans. Okay, guys, so that has been the end of your book tag. I know, like I said, I'm very late to the party on joining this tag, but better late than never. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!